Hey, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Sean.
This is Alex.
And this is Sven.
And you are listening to Coaster Kings Radio. Thank you for sticking with us the last couple
That
of weeks.
echo didn't work this time.
Oh yeah, it wasn't timed as well. Thank you for sticking with us the last couple of weeks while we had literally no content out except for social media.
Sorry.
And we were kind of, not even pushing out episodes. Life's busy, but we're back together, all three of us, recording our New Links Part 2. Mm-hmm. But before we dive into that, Sven's had the Belgian privilege of riding not only Conda, but also A Ride to Happiness by Tomorrowland at Plopsaland de Panne. Say that twice in a row. And
That's just a lot.
it is a lot, except for when you're Sven. Sven, what happened? Tell us.
Well, it's a lot until you're there, because then you kind of forget about the name and everything, because once you enter the area of the Tomorrowland coaster, you're out of Plopsaland. It's no longer Plopsaland anymore. I'm just very happy. I don't want to spoil too much because, the thing with expectations, like if you put them too high, then it might disappoint still. But, personally, I was like, okay, we'll wait and see and what happens. And I was blown away. Like, how? I had these flashbacks to 2018 where we had Wickerman and Icon opening in the UK. And then after riding both of them, I was like, yeah, it was fun, but it's not like mind-blowing. While this time for Belgium, we had both Conda and Ride to Happiness. And this is the level that we deserved finally in our little country.
Belgium finally gets what they deserve.
Yeah, because I felt like it was always the Netherlands the last couple of years with Lost Gravity and Phoenix and Untamed. But now we
Baron,
Baron, actually, yeah. But now it started off with Fury, and then we finally...
The other parks had to retaliate.
It's kind of funny because Ride to Happiness and Conda are both, I think, significantly larger than the last four big coasters in the Netherlands. So, you made up for it. Yeah,
but of course, Conda is something familiar, but in a new generation. And then Ride to Happiness is, totally new for Europe. So, plus, you wouldn't expect that a Mack coaster would make you that excited, like an Intamin or a B&M.
That's what we said when Time Traveler opened. Mm-hmm. We were like, okay, it's a Mack, whatever.
But without spoiling too much, this has become one of my top coasters out there. So,
are we talking top 10? Are we talking top 50?
Top 3.
Wow.
Whoa. And Sven's been places. He's been to Magic Mountain and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, he's been around.
The only coaster that I could kind of compare it to was X2. And then it's X2 is far from home, and it's not themed. So taking that into account, I rated it higher,
Yeah,
okay. Fair. So where is X2 for you? I guess I'm just curious.
Somewhere top 10, but I don't know it by heart.
No, it's fair. I don't know my rankings either.
Yeah.
So what were some highlight elements?
That's hard to say because of the spinning, it's always different. Sometimes there's one element that you're like, okay, this was fine. And then the next ride, it's like, whoa, this was a lot better this time. So it really depends. Same front and back seat. I really enjoyed both. Even in the middle, it doesn't matter too much where you are. Of course, it's especially the first drop and the outbank turn in itself when you enter it via the launch. When you enter, it's more fun in the back seat, and when you the other way around. If you're front seat, then it's better when you enter the element, and then first drop is better back seat, of course. But the launch also, it's the best Mack launch that I've ever done. on this kind of coaster, because I really enjoyed the third launch of Pulsar as well.
Yeah, I think the element that, I mean, I've only seen a couple of videos and pictures, of course, because I couldn't bear to not do a little bit of investigating. But overall, I think the product turned out even better than I expected. It looks really cool. They spin a lot, which, you know, Time Traveler, I mean, spins a lot too, but I think this looks almost like an upgrade to it.
Everything you're saying definitely echoes the sentiment on Time Traveler, which is very exciting, because having ridden Time Traveler, it's like, yeah, this is exactly what we would hope for, would be just for a repeat of Time Traveler's success in the follow-up application for this ride system.
But apparently it's free spinning at the moment, so there's no brakes involved, like magnetic brakes to stop you from spinning.
Time Traveler only has one at the very beginning.
But that starts the spinning.
Yeah.
It activates spinning.
Yeah,
it like
when you
pushes
dispatch
you in
out
a
of the
direction.
station, it pushes you, it gives you like a quarter turn and you drop out. And then from there, even when you stop midway for the launch, the cars are all like in random positions, and some of them are still like spinning a little bit and others are stopped. And it just is completely random until you hit the final brakes.
Yeah, but we'll discuss more of the Ride to Happiness and also Conda again with the Little Coaster Couple in one of the next podcast episodes in follow-up of our preview of the two coasters. But so, yeah, both Walibi Belgium and Plopsaland really got an exciting new coaster. But I guess today we're talking about the other parks in Europe, what their future could be.
Exactly. That's what New Links Part 2 is going to be about. So we're going to kind of follow up to our first episode that was Weakest Link. So what kind of rides do we cut out of parks?
Right.
And then we had an episode about the U.S., about parks and what they needed. And now we're going to talk Europe.
So this is like the third installment in our series of armchair theme park civil engineering.
And obviously,
before we start that, I want to
to
say one quick thing, though. And that is that we are planning a trip to Belgium,
Yay.
Europe, more countries than one.
going
Obviously,
to
see Sven.
Most importantly, we're going to see Sven. We're also going to see some roller
And
coasters.
we're actually finally going to pay some attention to the Belgian parks and give them some
Finally.
love. So we're really
Finally.
excited for that. So obviously there'll be a follow-up episode to Little Coaster Couple, and then we'll hopefully have a live recording with Sven in Belgium, depending on how incredibly tired we are or not, because they're going to hit it pretty hard.
My dream is to be like the first people we know to have ridden Ride to Happiness and Time Traveler and do like a little...
Babe, Sven's right there.
Wait, have you ridden Time Traveler?
No. I haven't-
Time Traveler too,
No.
sorry.
No,
I
to
think
have ridden both of them
Well-
and do like a comprehensive
good
analysis.
Maybe from the U.S. side, yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's some Belgians that already have ridden Time Traveler. So
I would hope so.
I guess that's fair. Well, but yeah, going from the U.S. side, we probably will be the first because the people from Belgium can't go to the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
But we
can't,
can go to
no.
Europe.
We can go.
So, yeah, that's perfect timing, I guess.
I
That's
don't
gonna be
mind right
exciting.
now,
I'm so
but I would
excited.
mind in January.
I
Yeah.
know, or like December, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, December. Yeah. But we'll see.
All right,
how
awesome.
it
Better.
goes.
All right, so let's get started.
We should start off with a park that we just mentioned because we're on the topic.
Yeah.
I guess on our list, we don't even have Plopsaland upon
I know. That's why I said earlier.
Which is fine because the fact that they gotten this is the new link they've always
Yeah.
needed. Like this park, who would have ever thought it would have gotten this ride? Not me.
Plopsaland Japan has successfully built like the ultimate Thuzy pipe dream roller coaster.
How does one go from like a roller skater or clock to like building this?
Right.
Well,
Like,
there
I'm
is
not
a
sure.
Anubis and there is Heidi, so
I guess
they
it's
took
true.
it
I guess
a
associate that
lot
park more
further
with
this time.
And Heidi's
Caddy.
the clone of White Lightning, right?
Yes.
Oh, I keep forgetting that's there. That's great. I'm
And there's
excited.
one in Poland too. Anyway,
That's
let's
right.
actually jump to Walibi Belgium and start with that park. What do they need? Have you given a thought?
A mega looping type thing, like a modern loop-centric coaster. I want a B&M floorless coaster there, even though they could probably do
That's a
something.
Six Flags of you. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Because they deserve a B&M, and I want, like, just a massive looper type ride for them now that they've got their picture-perfect Intamin airtime machine.
The park is good with gimmicks. I mean, not always because Vertigo didn't work out, but generally speaking, I kind of associate a park with like gimmicky stuff. Like, Psyche Underground. Despite it being a shuttle loop, they did so much to it that now
What
it's
if
no
they got
longer
a
just a
B&M
shuttle
wing
loop.
coaster? Every country needs
Well,
one.
I was thinking of a Vekoma wing coaster.
Come on, Vekoma wing coaster. Is that a thing?
Oh, sorry, Vekoma flying.
Sorry. That was really funny.
Protect the microphone at all costs.
I thought you were just being like really off the wall with like suggesting a product line that doesn't exist.
No, sorry, I meant a Vekoma flying coaster.
Well, as you mention it, usually Walibi Belgium tries to be innovative and coming with something new. And it is true that if there is a park in Belgium that would get a B&M, I guess it would be Walibi Belgium. So how about the surf coaster?
Okay, fair enough.
But that's one thing.
I'm holding my applause for the surf coaster until they build it.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
maybe.
Like, what if the trains are uncomfortable? Like, I trust B&M, but like, you never know. Some like new kind of ride or coaster phenomenon. Like, as good as it can look, like you always have to sit in the seat and see how it, like, if it actually feels like a success or if it feels like something that needs to be troubleshooted.
However,
at the same time, a wing coaster would be nice too.
However,
I
I think
coasters.
the first thing the park needs is not a coaster, as they just got Conda. So I may have talked about this before, but what was on schedule was a Mack Twist and Splash and a Skyfly, although I would not put a Skyfly, but a Sky Roller.
Sky Roller. Yeah, I do remember you saying that because I think Sky Rollers are better as well.
So I think it's a good idea to add some smaller attractions, family-oriented, and also a bit thrill in the next few years. And then there's also Loup Garou, which is interesting what they'll do with that one, because obviously we have Robin Hood that became Untamed, and now we have the news of Tonnerre de Zeus becoming Tonnerre
I'm really
de
excited
Zeus.
for that. I love that ride.
So that's the Gravity Group layover. So what will they do then with Loup Garou? Will it be one of the two? Will it be a third one, like GCI? Why don't you join the club?
I would love for them to.
I would love a GCI makeover.
I want them to do something with the rolling stock. Like, I understand that the Vekoma trains may not be in the ride's future for much longer. I mean, Gravity Group was the one that handled the remodel for Thunder Coaster, obviously, which is the third of the Vekoma Woodies. And I'll just be sad when the rolling stock is put to pasture. But I hope they just have like a car like at the front of the ride that you can.
I mean, Untamed has a car that like it's part of theming, right?
I want the Vekoma, the wooden coaster train, like the lead car, to be a photo op for the ride. Aside from that, they can do whatever they want with it. It's their
Really,
ride.
that's your only dream?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why do you not want to worship the wooden coaster rolling stock?
No, it's fine, but you
Vekoma
could
built?
have contributed to be like, wow, I would love for them to have like a topper track.
I mean, if I could choose, I would rather
But all you
stay
really
a
want to do
traditional
is put
wooden
the
coaster.
train out front.
Well, that's what I trust the system. I suspect that they'll do exactly what is best case scenario for that ride, and whatever's like most marketable for that ride. All I ask is that they keep the trains in stock and intact and use the rolling stock as an on-ride, as like a little photo.
I want Tornado 2.0.
A meet and greet. Tornado 2.0.
Be a
But
mosh.
we'll see what happens, because like it's one of the only two wooden coasters in Belgium, and so
Yeah.
it used to be the only one.
It'd be an interesting marketing characteristic for Plopsa to have the only
Is it
wooden
wild
coaster.
that it took me like 10 seconds to realize Heidi was the other wooden coaster, even though we just talked about it? I was like, shit, there's two wooden coasters.
Because that was me just now. I didn't know.
I keep forgetting that.
I didn't know they had two wooden coasters until
We can
5
talk
minutes
about
ago.
it, and 5 seconds
Yeah.
later, I forgot about it. Yeah.
So,
Okay, what's the next park?
Next park. Please hold while I unlock my phone. Next park is going to be Movie Park Germany. Okay, so they just opened
oh my god!
a real cute roller coaster that looks actually
Park
really fun.
Studios looks like
Yeah, I think Sven has a trip planned this summer to go check it out.
roller
Yeah,
coaster
end of
experience.
August, we should be able to go there.
Awesome. Yeah, that looks really fun.
That looks like I already feel like it's one of my favorite coasters in the country, just based on the POV. I'm just so obsessed. I'm so obsessed
Sven can't relate. I guess.
with the execution of that ride. I'm completely
Okay, I'm pretty impressed by the
enamored with
sheer
it.
amount of theming for it, though.
Completely enamored.
I think it
pretty
will be a
decent.
perfect fit, but I need to ride it to really have an impression to judge what kind of experience it will be. But
I don't think it's
hard
going to have airtime or forces, but man, it's cute as hell.
It's hard to beat Van Helsing in that park, though. I love it.
We love Van Helsing.
Well, now they have like
And
this
Star
unbeatable
Trek.
trio of like launch storytelling coasters. And before you say something, Van Helsing is a launch coaster. Just FYI, because the tire drive lift hill gets faster as you go up, and then when you clear the lift hill, you're going like 15 miles per hour already. It's a launch coaster. So,
I mean, I agree with it. But what did it truly need? I mean, okay, so on the water ride department, they're strong. They have a lot of water rides. And the roller coaster department, I think for a park focused on families, it's a strong lineup. They've got some good stuff. Even the ugliest thing has been made to look pretty decent, which is Looky Luke.
yeah.
So,
They need to leave Bandit alone.
which they will. They already said that.
Yeah,
They
no
ain't
RMC.
putting any money in that.
I mean, I would love to see them get like some like balls to the wall, aggressive thrill coaster.
But I feel like Star Trek didn't pay off for them the way they thought. I think they're gonna not do Thrill for a minute.
Well, then
me-
it begs the question: was Star Trek thrilling enough to be considered a major thrill coaster, or
I think so.
did people expect something really aggressive and then feel like the ride was more family friendly than they were led on?
I think Star Trek does what they wanted it to do. Like, they want to have an eye-catcher coaster, and
Yeah.
it does that at the entrance of the park, and families will also enjoy that ride. But for me, obviously they kind of opened the dark ride with the new coaster, but they don't have a regular
True dark ride.
Dark ride, yeah, they only have indoor coasters basically.
'Cause after
I
they
guess,
lost Gremlins, it's
and
like
then they
could
have a
probably use
simulator.
that.
But
Yeah.
if that still works, I always forget. But for me, they need a dark ride.
You're definitely right though, because like what they've done is systemically replaced dark rides with coasters. Mm-hmm. Because Movie Park Studios replaced a dark ride,
The
Flume
Ice Age.
ride,
Yeah.
and Gremlins, which was the e-ticket like ride. It was like the signature ride experience for Warner Brothers Movie World when it opened, and now, it's like the kind of the signature Movie Park Germany experience, but it's a coaster more than it is a dark ride. So yeah. Maybe a traditional dark ride would really benefit their lineup.
What would be a perfect fit, but it's a little bit too close to Walibi Belgium, is Popcorn Revenge, because it fits the movie theme, and they could build. They have larger versions as well, so they could build a larger version than the one at Walibi.
I'm excited to ride
plus
that.
It's family
Totally.
oriented. It's for me, it's a perfect fit. It's just a bit close.
And I think
Yeah.
in the day and age of interactive dark rides, if Parkland Move Park and their theming and their whole like brand identity would lend itself very well
It would
to
be
a
so
shooting
on
dark
brand
ride.
for
Yeah.
a shooting dark ride. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah,
Okay.
shooting dark ride it is.
I love that part. I don't
Cool.
care what anyone says.
I know. We're like the biggest fans. We wear Move Park Germany.
We have
merch
the
to
Movie Park
Universal,
Germany 2018 Spring Collection. Your models right here.
So. MPG 96.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, let's talk Hansa Park.
Man, I love this park.
Oh, you do.
And I loved this park before Schwarzkanen even opened, so I think I'm going to like it even more the next time. What do you think, Sven?
No, I really like the park as well. I'm just thinking they have good water ride. Well, they have a few water rides.
I love their water ride lineup.
Coaster wise,
log
it's
flumes.
not too bad either. So
Not too bad.
again, I'd pull the dark ride card, because
Yeah,
what do they have? I mean,
no dark rides.
no dark
Yeah.
rides. Yeah.
Although I loved the dark ride scenes in Fullklam Nordgoran. The obvious answer is they need a third Gerschlauer with like an indoor tower vertical drop sequence, because like they have two, they might as well do another one. Find some way to make it interesting. Do you imagine? Maybe they do like the new Gerschlauer suspended coaster, but it's a little suspended coaster.
funny 'cause
with
their recent
an indoor
additions have been
elevator
so
lift
good.
and like a vertical drop.
Because like Highlander and then fixing up
Highlander looks
coasters
scary.
there looks really nice, and then Karen obviously looks really nice. So yeah, I guess dark ride. I hate to repeat myself like that, but the dark ride looks good.
Okay. So that was Hansa. How about Heide Park?
Heide Park.
operations.
It's been so long. I really like that park too. It's funny because like, well,
Okay,
when
I'm gonna
I
just
went,
wait for the time you say I don't like this park. Which, based on this list, it may be like one.
I loved Hansa Park, but I liked Heidi Park.
Okay, so it's the
It was a little bit of some
list.
backhandedness. Heidi Park was the Six Flags park of the Germany trip for me.
It's funny
better or
because
for worse.
Newport, Germany was involved with Six Flags.
But yeah, the irony was that was the actual Six Flags park, but Heidi Park was the one that felt Six Flagsy in its like smattering of insequential, matter of fact roller coasters that all of them were good, but none of them were great.
Well, I do feel like Heide Park, especially with Colossus and their Bob Bon, back when they opened Big Loop, those were all like really major coasters. When they opened Desert Race, this was when launch coasters were still like hot.
I really
they
enjoyed
weren't
Desert
standards
Race.
yet. So they kind of have a history of like kind of pushing the limits a little bit, not necessarily as gracefully and as polished, but I think another like record breaker would be nice there. They've got a lot of space. It's a big park. I would like to see an S&S access coaster there.
Ooh.
That does sound interesting, and I agree that like coaster-wise, they have a lot, but it's the collection is not what it used to be compared to other parks. Because for me personally, almost every type of coaster, I had done another one that I preferred at another park.
Totally.
But what I would do, because they have been removing a lot of thrill rides the last couple of years, and I would let them put a unique new kind of thrill ride that you
Like a flat ride?
Yeah, a flat ride that you can't really do somewhere else. So that would be my choice for that park.
I mean, on that topic,
they used to have
SNS,
a major flat ride
SNS released
collection.
those like top spin seats for launch towers.
Oh yeah,
that would be a cool fit.
my God.
Yeah.
I
That'd
think
be like
Wallaby
Access,
Holland
but like on a
needs
tower.
that. That
Yeah,
would be
could you
so
imagine?
Wallaby Holland.
Yeah, I guess because, of course, one of the major thrill rides now is Scream, right? The drop tower.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of small ones, but then, they need something new, something thrilling.
I don't know what they need coaster-wise, except just something that doesn't feel like it was under, like that they needed to keep it under budget, because I feel like as good as like Desert Race and like Krake and Fugger Damon are, it's like they're short. I definitely feel like they were just afraid to spend too much money on the project. Like they knew exactly how much return they could get on a ride, and they're like, well, we're not spending any more money on this if necessary. Probably, and I think it has something to do with like how expensive Colossus was. Colossus was outrageously expensive when they first built it, and they probably didn't get the return on it they were expecting. And then they had to turn around and completely top to bottom remodel it after 15 years, which is kind of a surprise. But Krake was my first dive coaster, and I really liked it, but God, it's so short. I just can't believe it's like, when I was writing it with people, they're like, yeah, so this is the second half of Griffin. That's it.
I mean, it really doesn't do anything except for drop inversion and air
I wasn't
downhill.
enamored, and the theming is
cool,
great, but it's
though.
just short as hell. It's shorter than freaking Baron. So
Yeah, I guess length doesn't always mean something, but
I just feel like they need to get out of the habit of building these coasters that are like less than half a mile long and build something
it's a
that
California
feels
to Good America effect.
yeah, totally. They need to build a coaster that is. Their next coaster needs. I don't care if it's a family coaster or a thrill coaster, but it needs to be lengthy. It needs to be substantial in its ride duration.
So you said Wallaby Holland needs an SNS spinning
Needs one of
drop
those
tower.
SNS top spin drop tower thing.
I just think it'd be like super hard gaan,
It's just
and
come on, Hardcon.
and for that reason,
And they can
S3E35.
like sell novelty underwear at the exit, and their whole marketing
It says,
campaign
I
will be
shit my
like,
pants.
"Yeah, I shit
Hashtag
myself."
Hardcon.
Don't act like that's not 100% something they would do.
They would sell pillows saying I shit my pants on Space Shot, hashtag Hardcon. They would sell that, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of what they sell, they started selling roller coaster wheels in the gift shop at Express without announcing it, and they sold out like crazy. But now
Yeah,
they're
of
like
course.
planning on doing it more. So when we go and they have a roller coaster wheel from Express or whatever, Tacoma, because they have a lot, I would die.
Yeah, that's something that I would need room in my suitcase for, Sven. So, since we were talking about that earlier,
Yeah.
we have things for
Okay.
Sven merchandise and stuff
Look
that we
forward
need
to
to
the
bring
overhead thing
him.
not closing because
And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stuff my suitcase full of stuff for Sven, and then the vacancies will be
last time we took a roller
occupied.
coaster wheel through
Security at Jean
through CDG. They were like, it literally took you like 30 minutes to get it
Yeah,
cleared.
well, they were like, is this...
Eventually, they thought it was a zoom lens. They were like,
and I was thinking
sure.
they meant zoom lens, but I thought they meant zoom as in like to go really fast. And I'm like, yeah, zoom, like, you know, a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster wheel. And they were just like, okay.
It was wild.
That was iconic.
Okay.
Okay, so what does Walibi Holland need? I mean, I just like the idea of that, but I don't know if it's necessarily what they need.
I think they need that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It does fit their identity.
True, right. But
And they love to do reworkings, like refreshes of existing rides. That's not only with
all
the
they do.
experience itself be very on brand for Walibi Holland, but also the practice of taking an existing ride and elevating it into like a major new attraction.
This is actually
also
really sad. I
extremely
just
on brand.
realized that the only like new from the ground up
Ground
roller
up.
coaster in a very long time is literally just been Lost Gravity. The rest has all been reskins
Yeah.
or relaunches or remodels.
I mean, Untamed is a pretty substantial remodel, but you're right. Like, they don't really do a lot of like net increases of the attractions that are there. Their attractions tend to replace
themselves.
an attraction or themselves, like Speed of Sound.
Express.
But I'm going to repeat myself a bit, but there's
Same
one
ride,
major...
right?
Popcorn Revenge.
Yeah, but not Popcorn Revenge. But there's a major issue if it rains in that park. There's only Merlin's Castle to go, almost. So
That's a haunted swing, right?
Sorry?
Haunted Swing. It's a madhouse.
No, it's a
Yeah,
madhouse.
that's a haunted. Yeah, well, that's what those are.
Haunted swing.
That's what
Never
Americans
heard
call
anyone
them.
call
Don't
it.
make fun of me.
That's funny. But I wouldn't go for a classic type of dark ride, though. It needs to be like with a thrilling edge.
Okay, this is really expensive, but I would like some Forbidden Journey up in there.
Sean's like, I'll take Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Harry Potter and the Escape from the
Pirates
Festival.
of the Caribbean, Shanghai for Walibi Holland, please.
No, okay, but if they did like a cheaper version, like a smaller version, like like Movie World Abu Dhabi or Dubai, whatever.
That ride was still probably like $100 million.
Well, the idea is, I mean, it's,
Sorry.
we never said there was a limit to reality here. I would like for them to build a Kuka arm dark ride. And that has a thrilling edge.
I like the way you say
Kuka.
Kuka. Kuka arm.
Okay.
Kuka, it's okay.
The point is that I would like the dark ride to be there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can agree with that.
Thanks, Sven.
Alrighty.
Okay.
What's next?
Or
Next
they
up-
could do a dark ride with drop track, like maybe a rudimentary Rise of the Resistance style thing. Because if they build a dark ride, it has to have a thrill component.
Wait, so
That's a
you're
lot
laughing
cheaper.
at my idea because mine is expensive and wild, but you want to build a Rise of Resistance at a freaking polder?
Rudimentary, just with the drop track sequence.
So
It
you just
doesn't
want to
have
go up,
be-
drop, and that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
but a dark ride.
spoiler.
So Space
Yeah.
Shot is like
Yeah, it needs
not
to
enough?
be a drop ride, a drop track dark ride. I mean, parks all over the world do drop tracks on coasters. It's just because there's only like one dark ride with drop track doesn't mean that it's going to break the bank like your Arkham Asylum Kuka Arm Abu Dhabi ride.
Well, I don't
Next
know. I feel like you can't hate on my idea and then have something as outlandish as
I
Rise of
said
Resistance.
next park.
Sven is done.
I don't want
being
the
our marriage
horses.
counselor.
Let's hop the pond and go to Thor Park.
Come on, Thorpe.
The one thing they don't need is another disastrous theme thrill ride. Do you at least agree on that?
I would love for Thorpe to get a ride that's themed to like everything going according to plan. I think that would be like really out
Yeah,
of left
something
field.
that's happy, you know?
Yeah, like something that's
Like
like
a day in the park.
Like the ride is over and you had a great time and it's like sunshine and rainbows and shit. Like
Like
Walibi
Mickey and
Holland.
Minnie. Walibi Holland. Walibi Holland's a dark trip.
If Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was at Thorpe Park, it would end with Mickey getting smashed in the factory.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, sorry.
Like
No, not serious though.
Lots of people will probably say, "Oh, they need a coaster like an RMC or a Hyper."
Or you would probably say they need a dark ride.
That
But
park is
no.
just like Heidi Park. So
Alex will like me. I want to have a new lock flume.
I was gonna say, I already like you, Sven.
Okay.
Now I like you
Yeah.
even more. God, their log flume was so great.
The Flume.
Yeah. The
That's
one
so
that
Paul.
Lady Diana graced with her presence.
I know.
She
and then they
blessed
killed it like they
and then
killed
they
her.
killed it, just like they killed her. Yep. Sorry, that
really
got really dark. But
like Thorpe Park.
Sven's just smiling awkwardly. He's like, okay.
So the kind of log flume is with like the Chiapas airtime.
I was gonna say that.
Airtime hill.
Like a little backwards, a little sideways, a little forwards.
I know we've talked
water.
about like the idea of a looping water coaster because like multiple manufacturers offer something like that, but we're wondering like where it's gonna go. And for most parks, they would never, because water coasters are meant to be like an inherently family-friendly option. But then when you have a park like Thorpe Park, where like everything there is through a ride anyway, and like they don't make family rides because the whole goal is to like just send people over to Chessington. A looping water ride would be very
So you're suggesting a looping
Thorpe
water
Park.
ride between Thorpe Park and Chessington?
Yeah, like on monorail.
Monorail water ride.
Of course.
No, I'm just saying that, like, if there was any park that would trouble themselves with an upside-down water coaster, it would be a park like Thorpe. Because they would never concern themselves with, like, well, what if it's not family-friendly? Thorpe doesn't care.
Fair
They treat
enough.
that whole triage of parks with, like, Lego and Chessington as, like, a resort. And Thorpe is, like...
It kind of gives me
the
Gold
thrill
Coast
resort.
vibes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the Village Roadshow collection
parks.
of parks. Where they have, like, the Thrill Park, which is movie park, and then, like, the Family Park and the Kiddie Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kiddie Park being SeaWorld. I guess they have a wooden coaster
I could
now.
I could see a looping water coaster, like as a medium.
Either a looping Pulsar or like just a custom water coaster with like a barrel roll.
No,
on
I
it.
would like a Poseidon, but with a corkscrew in there and then into the water.
I think
I will
that's
always
more
say that.
realistic than a Pulsar.
Yeah.
And
You don't think the
version
looping Pulsar is realistic?
I mean, it exists. They sell it.
I know. I want one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Come on, Magic Mountain.
Yeah, I need one in Magic Mountain. But next up, okay, this park is like really easy. Holiday Park.
Holiday
They
Park.
need like everything.
Holiday Park just needs something.
They need
I
more
think the park
rides.
needs another big coaster.
They could use a third coaster.
Like the fact that they have Expedition G-Force is kind of like sticking out, and then the rest is all the size of a fairground. I'm like, well,
I mean, the park
maybe
is,
they can use
is
something else.
pretty in its own right. It's bigger than it needs to be, if memories. Like I mean, it's been a while since I went, but they still have the same number of coasters that they had. Actually, they're down one coaster from my visit because they replaced.
They need a
They
GCI.
replaced Super Werble with Skyscream, and they lost the Wild Mouse, but they did not replace the Wild
What the
Mouse
fuck?
with anything. So
They have a indoor coaster in the Heidi area.
oh, so I guess is it like
Yeah,
a,
they have a zero family.
Oh,
coaster.
like the Piet Piraat ones.
one kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's something. That sounds like the
Okay, but I still think
spiritual-
that park,
It was
especially how
close when I was
wooded it
there,
is,
but
because it's so wooded over
Oh, yeah,
there.
wood coaster,
I
for
think
sure.
a wooden coaster would be a nice fit. They have a launch coaster. They have something with an inversion. They have some airtime and height. They have an indoor family coaster. I think a wooden coaster would be cute.
They're like the most major German park that doesn't have a wooden coaster. I think it's time.
yeah, I think. And 3 guesses what wooden coaster they would put. Heidi /
guesses.
werewolf.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Just a Heidi
sadness.
clone.
Clone
but
number
Heidi clone.
3.
They
Well,
wouldn't have to
4, if it's
compete
tiny.
with two. I mean, like Trip Stroll's wooden coaster is very tame. It's a great ride, but it's like
Mammoth.
super gentle, like lap child friendly.
And
I mean, they would
it-
never let you, but
It hurts
It
if
feels
you're
like it
not
would be.
sitting in the middle, because on the wheels
Yeah.
it's not an enjoyable experience anymore.
a mammoth.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Ah, well,
when
that's
we
good to
rode it,
know.
it didn't matter where you sat. It was like
But you wrote it.
it was.
No,
I mean,
it's
it was
very
it was quite
different,
yeah.
yeah.
When when I rode it, it was like 6 or 7 years old, and it was I was like, this is the smoothest. I was almost disappointed because it didn't resemble. It didn't feel like a wooden coaster.
Oh, it didn't shatter your brain.
Yeah. Well, people
poor
are like,
you.
"Oh, this is how El Toro feels, kind of, because it's like it's so smooth." But it's a wooden coaster, and it supposedly feels like one. But like Mammut did not feel like one when we rode it. But yeah, I think a wood coaster for Holiday Park is obvious, and it could be Heidi themed.
Yeah, well, Heidi again. Okay.
Okay, sorry. A little technical difficulty here. Thank you for sticking with us. May this not get cut out. Next up on the list is... Should we go back to England?
I guess.
Chessington. Is that pronounced correctly?
Chessington. I love Chessington.
Well, they can also use a wooden coaster, I think.
Oh, totally.
Like a little, like El Toro, but not El Toro from over here, but El Toro from Vrijheidspark Plein.
Vrijheidspark Park.
Yeah, so not like Heidi, because that's
Yeah.
kind of overplayed right now. Like, who does that
Yeah.
Heidi? But then, because I think that layout is really cool and really fun.
Right.
What do you think, Sven?
Well, I've never been, so it's hard to talk about fully. But I can agree with the wooden coaster. Like, it's family friendly, so let's go with that.
Okay. Well, yeah, they just redid their flume to be like tiger themed, and I guess it has the actual
They
tiger
could do like
exhibit.
a little baby Wicker Man there. I mean, Wicker Man's not that aggressive. They could probably
Also,
just
it's kind of
do
a dark
something,
theme.
like, really
I would
similar.
like a tiger themed like
Chessington is
like
is
a
into their dark
Rorosaurus,
themes.
but
I mean,
it's
it is still like
themed to a
the small Thorpe,
tiger.
type thing. So
Next up, let's talk. Should we just finish all the UK parks on our list? You just go Alton
do we have
Towers.
more? Oh yeah, Alton Towers.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. They just got that grand
Ink's
whatever.
the Granny Dark Ride.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Weird flex, but okay.
Their coaster lineup is pretty decent. I guess in England they don't have that many indoor stuff, and it's always raining over there. So
Yeah.
maybe they need something that's like major indoor and close to where the other two indoor things aren't.
An indoor coaster there would be really fun. I don't know what they would do, but the possibilities are endless. Like
And
The Curse of Queen Elizabeth, the ride.
the Curse of Princess Diana. It's just a roller coaster
Well-
where you're Queen Elizabeth in a taxi being chased by Ghost Diana.
Queen Elizabeth or Ghost Diana.
Ghost
yeah.
Diana driving a Trabant, like
Gangster Diana, the ride.
crashes you into a bridge. Anyway,
for me, they need a lot more flat rides because they have a lot of coasters and the queues can get very long, and it's the only thing you can do at that park. So the 4 funfair rides that they added this year as part
Yeah,
of
Such a
little
weird
waltzer.
flex. I mean, good, but they look really temporary.
that's really well, yeah.
Are they
yeah.
meant to be temporary?
Yeah, they're marketed as such. They're like,
Oh,
it's
like
this
a
whole
limited time
marketing.
only?
It's this
Yeah.
whole like it's like has this like retro like '90s marketing campaign.
Oh, it just screams desperacy to me.
It's very Six Flags, and I don't know if that's meant to be a read or not, but it feels, for better or for worse, it reminds me of something Six Flags would do. It reminds me of when the Larson Loops came out, and they were like, "It's a coaster." We're like, "This is a carnival ride."
I guess
Okay.
it helps with the capacity though, because
I mean,
They
whatever
need
it
it.
takes, like whatever they need to do to pay their bills. If they're gonna get creative, like, good for them. Like, whatever.
okay.
Okay, cool. Something indoor or a flat ride. I get it.
Like a permanent flat ride.
Toverland.
A few. Oh.
I remember-
Toverland
I mean,
has a
In
lot
my-
of room.
In the last episode where we talked about Toverland, I talked about they need to retire the motorbike coaster.
No, they need to. No, this is about not retiring anything. It's about adding
I
something.
know, but this is to
Stop
expound
coming
on
for my
that.
Vekoma stuff.
I would love for them to put a fabulous new Vekoma looping coaster where the motorbike coaster currently
There's literally
is.
so much space. They could literally put it 2 miles away
Yeah,
and would
no.
still be in the park.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I don't accept that answer.
Well.
For me, what we can talk about is, like, it's obvious that they're going to expand with a brand new area again. So we should talk about what kind of new area there would be, what theme, and what rides it would have.
Okay, so
Okay.
based on what they've done so far, it's all been kind of naturalistic,
They've
landscapey
got
stuff.
Mediterranean and like, what is Avalon? Is that
That's like
That is
medieval.
like The Hobbit.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
so like North Europe?
Wherever The Hobbit takes place.
That's the Shire. That's like Scotland and
Yeah.
Ireland and
I mean, there's a crazy
Yeah.
old, like, Merlin
Yeah.
castle dude. So he's
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's so Avalon
It's like Merlinwood, really.
takes place in the Isles, which is so funny because we went and the weather was so beautiful. And so,
I know, it felt very Mediterranean.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not with blue
But it's made
skies
for
and
Dutch
bright
rain,
sun. I
so
would never
like,
think.
it probably looks more like Ireland half the time.
Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of going around, and then because we've got, but then they have like Troy is in like has like Norse.
No,
thing.
Troy is literally
No.
themed after Troy, like as in the big freaking horse that's right out front that they rolled out in the Trojan times.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I guess,
like Mediterranean. That's the Mediterranean area with Scorpio and stuff.
Okay.
So they got Mediterranean. They've got Hobbitland.
the Magic Valley. So that's more
Magic Valley.
green.
Dwervelwind, right? Area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Magische
So,
Valley.
like,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the indoor area is all like kind of like medievally, magic-y, cutesy.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah,
And then
a
And
bit
then, like, the
Orient
Germany influence.
vibe, a bit Orient vibes now. Okay, and then the
What is
second
the
hall
theme
is
for
the
Booster Bike,
Wonderwald,
then?
so that's more like Swiss and German
Yeah.
style.
yeah.
Booster Bike is themed to Magische Valley. It's just kind of
Yeah.
lumped in with that.
Yeah.
So as of right now, what's
So
clearly
magical.
missing? I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm copying Efteling in any way, but I think something either Sinbad-y or, Fata Morgana-ish, kind of like that vibe of something they don't have yet.
So we're leaving Europe and going to...
We were never in Europe, babe. We were in
land.
Toverland.
Toverland is in Europe. It's in
No, the idea is that we're creating these areas that are mythical.
Avalon takes place in Europe, and so does all of the other areas.
Cute. So the idea is that we create a new land.
It should be Spanish. It should be like Spanish architecture. It's like a continuation.
But I feel like the weather is just not made for that.
Well, because we've got Mediterranean, we've got like Italian like Riviera feel for the entrance of the park, and I think their next thing should be more Spanish.
Well,
Like,
I think they
expound on
want to
that.
use the mythical kind of vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of what kinds of mythical.
How about magical pirates?
Magical pirates. Are they flying pirates?
Like Portuguese pirates that cast spells.
Wow.
I guess Egyptian would also be cool, even though
Yeah, I
we
could see
already
that.
have some
Yeah.
areas. But I would like to see their touch on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
With
can never
a
go
dark
wrong with
ride.
that.
A dark
Yeah.
ride. I mean, that's almost certain that's coming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I feel like they hint at it in every interview. It's kind of brought up, and they kind of hint at it being a thing. So, okay, yeah, I could see that. I'm
And
down
what
for
kind
it.
of coaster would we put?
Well, they have a really good thrill coaster, but I'm not sure if that's what they need again, because like Phoenix really kind of checks that box as like major, roller coaster. I think something more family friendly would be great. I mean, they have Troy, which is really big and good too. This is actually a hard question because they have a really well balanced lineup.
Yeah.
Like they have an impressively good lineup for a park.
Phoenix was such
that
a
age.
perfect choice for them that I struggle to think what would realistically need to be their next coaster.
I think another launch coaster because
a
you can
launch
sell good
mover.
stories with launch coasters, and while Booster Bike launches, it's not its gimmick. The main gimmick is that you're
If this
on a
was the
motorbike.
first park in this part of Europe to get the
It's
next
also
gen
hard
Vekoma, I
because,
wouldn't be
like,
shocked.
from a marketing standpoint, it's located so close to Efteling and Phantasialand, and they all have such varying lineups. Like between those three parks, you have like every possible product out there. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh, they need this specifically, because when at the end of the day, you have to look at what do the competing parks have. God, that is kind of hard. Even a water coaster, there's already one at Efteling.
Yeah, but sure. But then I think that might be a good idea. A special kind of water coaster for Toverland. Because, yeah, sure, they have one at Efteling, but it's not the standard kind. Like, it's not the Mac or the Intamin version.
It's Sean's favorite
That
little
you see.
coaster.
I love Vliegende Hollander. Well, okay, in that case, I would
Sure,
say
but
a
it
water
can
coaster.
be marketed very differently from Vliegende Hollander.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Vliegende Hollander's main focus isn't really the roller coaster. It's where they could make that the main focus. Yeah, because like if you do it nicely, we've ridden some beautiful water coasters out there. You can really tell a story. So I'd say do a water coaster.
If they did like a super splash specifically, like something...
But then it gets too bulky for me.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of like which of the Mac water coaster products would be the most different from Vliegende Hollander, but maybe just the straightforward water coaster, like the two across.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the two across water coaster like Poseidon, but with more theming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and a dark
Nice.
ride. I like it. Next up, let's hop over to the best park in Europe, Walt Disney Studios.
Oh my god.
What doesn't that park need? It needs
We were looking
fast
at the map
pass.
and we noticed,
were looking at the app today.
and the queues are so short. No one
and we
wants
were
to
looking
go.
at Cars Road Trip from up above.
5 minute wait.
And it looks so
Of
It's a walk on.
I can't wait to ride it. Probably not next time because I'm not going
We'll
to
probably ride it like on our trip after it.
But I'll ride it someday, and it's going to be.
We plan on going to Paris one more time.
I want to live blog
after this.
when we ride it. Like I want to just be like
Like a live
doing
story.
Instagram story. For
Hey
the
girls,
entire ride
here's
experience.
car number 1. Here's car number
Yeah.
2. Oh, the ride's over.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, okay, so let's take the Walt Disney Studios with Frozen, with Avengers
Star Wars.
Campus, and with Tatooine Star Wars.
Tatooine Star Wars. Okay, so
You're
then
being very generous.
so those already being like semi confirmed. What do we need in addition to that?
How cool would it be to have the water ride at the studios?
Yeah. I would like that.
Star Wars water ride?
Not sure about that.
It's like Tatooine. There's no water there.
Yeah. Everything in all the water in Star Wars is either frozen or it doesn't exist. I swear.
And there's already Frozen. Well, Frozen's gonna have a water ride, but you mean like a wet ride?
Wet ride, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun if if their version of Frozen has like the splashdown is actually a splash.
Okay, so this is highly, highly unlikely. So I don't even know why I'm suggesting it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Water rides are always like themed so naturalistically and so like beautifully, but I want a water ride that's bright, colors, action. I want a water ride that's themed to Marvel.
Marvel water ride.
Maybe like some Doctor Strange with a bunch of like cool effects.
What if they got a Guardians of the Galaxy
water ride?
Like
you're floating on a UFO?
For me, first off, I want to wrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you guys seen Luca?
No, I have not yet.
No,
well,
I haven't seen Luca.
What you mentioned, it's colorful. It's Italian Riviera, so I mean that's European. I guess it would be fun to have a Luca-themed Rapid, maybe?
Okay.
Or a Lion King one. Because, I mean...
I want to say Lion King.
How is it that there hasn't been an actual Lion King ride?
Especially having no Jungle Cruise, it kind of has this, like, opportunity to really kind of go hard on, like, a safari vibe, but without the real animals. Making a Rapids ride. What they've always wanted to do with Colorado River Rapids, but this time with fake animals, so they don't have to worry about real animals killing you.
I'm still holding out for a Grizzly River Run clone for Frontierland, but I kind of think it would be amazing for them to have a water ride in both parks. I mean, one would be great. I mean, let's get one in there first of all, but
well, then Splash Mountain can go too.
I don't want Splash Mountain.
You mean Frog Mountain?
Yeah, Frog Mountain.
Okay, well, if we're going to talk whole resort, because I guess we'll open that can.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, if we had to put the water ride anywhere in the whole resort, I still think putting it at Disneyland would be the best, and theming it to Frontierland.
They still have that pad for
the pad's right over there. It would kind of like make the whole area complete.
Behind the train station.
But if we're focusing purely on the studios...
Okay, now Disneyland Park, that's a different story. Disneyland Park needs new rides quickly.
Sven is like,
every
in this
land,
essay, I will...
Oh, I know what I want. I already have it ready to go.
Every land gets one for me. For Frontierland, there's a water ride. For Adventureland, there's Indiana Jones Adventure. For Fantasyland, there's, I guess they'll put Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I would prefer a Beauty and the Beast dark ride.
Yeah.
And then finally, for Discoveryland, I guess...
Soarin'.
Yeah, Soarin', themed to Jules Verne, or Tron.
Or both.
I'd go for Tron, but Soarin' maybe I'd keep for the third park.
Oh, yes, we're doing a third park, too.
Not in this episode, but
not in this episode.
The third park, yeah.
So there you
go. Yeah, well, if I had to pick one ride, I would probably pick Tron, because you can separate it enough from Discoveryland to not have it be too, like, in the way.
Little steampunk Tron.
Yeah.
Little Jules Verne Tron.
Little Jules Tron.
From the Earth to the grid.
From the Earth to the grid. From the grid to the moon, girl.
From the grid to the moon. I can't.
Well, the way they
the most ambitious
talk
crossover
about
of all
the
time.
way they use the Discoveryland theme is that it's all about people who envision the future, and I guess it's easy to put like
Tron in there.
The Tron story of the people on the grid and everything.
Yeah.
In there.
I also wouldn't mind a grid that is an extra area, or like the entire canopy to be enclosed, that you have to physically go into, like the dark grid. Because as of right now, it's definitely an aesthetic thing, but I think if they were to try something different with Tron and build the canopy as like an indoor area, that would be cool.
That'd be perfect for Paris too.
Especially with
if you were going to experiment with having an indoor Tron, like a totally enclosed Tron setup, like Paris is definitely the one to do it.
Yeah, like an area. Okay. Well, I guess that we all
that could
know
be the
what
third
they need.
gate too.
It's kind of fun to have.
Since this resort already has Discoveryland, and like, I guess they could just do a straight up copy of Tomorrowland at Shanghai for their third gate, or they could just really double down on the Tron theme and make it just the grid.
They need more Animal Kingdom there. Based on how incredibly popular Animal Kingdom is with the Europeans, I think it's a no-brainer that we're going to see Animal Kingdom theme coming to Paris.
With Avatar and Wakanda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Zootopia.
So.
Yes! Oh my god.
Let's talk about Europa Park next, while in the region, sort of.
I need Europa Park to build a thrill ride of any kind. Like, they need a ride that goes upside down. They have one. They've had
That's
one.
so funny. Europa Park has like 20,000 attractions.
They've got a million freaking rides. They have one looping coaster. They have a hyper coaster. And they have a pretty large wooden coaster.
I think a wing coaster would be so Europa Park.
They're not going to go with anyone that isn't Mac, though. So
I mean, they have, so don't never say
But they're
never.
not going to, again. Like, that was before.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would they?
Well, they can design one themselves.
Exactly. You know how you were talking about your Vekoma wing coaster earlier? How about a Mac wing coaster?
No. I meant flying coaster. Anyway.
No, I would like what's the tall one they're building in Asia?
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane?
Yeah.
Coaster? Well, that's a lot like Blue Fire in many ways.
I mean, I
guess.
want a friggin' Mac Big Dipper there.
Big Dipper's not high enough capacity for them.
Yeah,
I want
it's
two.
capacity.
And I want
a
a dual.
one.
I want a dueling Big Dipper.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask for.
I think
an
the
extreme spinner would be a good
is
fit.
what would make sense that's coming.
I mean, we've seen what you can do with them now because the one in Belgium is like so diverse and add some great theming to it.
I mean, the fact that they had
cool
the
ride.
extreme spinner car as like a test car on Blue Fire and they didn't leave it was kind of disappointing.
I know what we're gonna do.
Hell.
No, we're gonna cut out Euromir and we're gonna replace it with Euromir 2.0, whatever it is in Russian. And we're going to build an extreme spinner.
Euromir alone.
Euromir, but it's a looping extreme spinner.
Yeah, it's like
they have still room.
You want people to listen to this podcast, right?
They're already listening.
Well, not anymore. They just turned it off.
No, leave Euromir alone. Maybe
Euromir needs to be completely retracted with new vehicles, but
leave it alone.
But it doesn't need to be an extreme spinner. It can still be the same ride. It just needs to be retracted. It needs to be can coastered. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't need to change the theme. That would be the only difference. It just needs larger vehicles like Sierra Sidewinder or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So are we all agreeing at least on the Mech Extreme Spinner no matter where it goes?
I want
a Dutch one.
Wouldn't it be fun if they had like a Mac Extreme Spinner? But you know how like they also offer.
I want a Belgium one.
It would be cool if they had like a multimodal train where like half of the train is spinner cars and the other half are wing seats like on Big Dipper.
That's a lot to ask for.
No, it's not. Quit saying that. It's Europa Park. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Language.
Pete, you have now catapulted us into a different category of explicitly themed episodes.
We've said that word many times.
I know.
It's always family friendly until it's not.
I just don't see Mech making a wing coaster. There's enough rattle and bounce when it's not winged. Imagine adding wings to that. It's gonna be like
Big
Rattle
Dippers
City
kind of are
there.
their wing coaster because you've got the seats.
Yeah, that's as
unless they're
that's
you
as far
and
as
you're
I
too
want
tall.
to wing. That's as far as I want to wing on the Mac.
Okay.
Well, if Intamin can do it.
Yeah, I think a Mac and like
Intamin built a whole new track style for it. Because the one that they build with the old track style obviously is trash. Furious Baco.
Well, yeah, they're not. I don't think they're really even
It's
offering
not
like Furious
trash.
Baco type rides.
I thought you didn't like it, Sven.
I do like it.
I hear the launch is better than
That's because the
Red
hydraulic
Force.
launch on a wing. That's kind of wild.
Just the side rattle a bit, but if you're on the inside, it's like X2. It's fine.
I've heard people say that like Furious
Flapping
Baco
wings.
is the worst wooden coaster in Europe, which
Furious
seems like
Baco
really
is not a wooden
extreme.
coaster.
Or
Which one?
Sorry, reverse roller coaster. Did I say wooden coaster?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I meant Furious Baco's. I've heard people say that Furious
like,
Baco is the
okay.
worst. Yeah, it's a terrible wooden coaster. There's no wood at
Let's
all.
do a wooden coaster.
Alan Schilke has entered the chat.
Coaster Express. So it's not on this list, but I kind of want to talk about Warner Brothers.
Okay. That's
Park
yeah.
Warner, you mean? Park Warner.
Yeah,
Madrid.
Park Warner.
Warner Brothers Movie World Madrid. Six Flags Park.
So the park is nicer than Six Flags Park.
I know.
They need
Yeah,
a
they
new
need to do
coaster.
something with Wild Wild West.
They definitely need a new coaster.
A
They need to do
Vekoma.
some
New Gen Vekoma.
Yeah.
new Gen Vekoma. Yeah, theme to the Wild West. Theme to a bullet.
Don't you guys think they
Launch.
need to do something with the wood coaster though? Like,
Yeah.
Well, they can do that along the
Yeah.
way, but they first need to
yeah.
put like a major new coaster there.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, stop. Our listeners hate us.
But so yeah, a launch coaster. Vekoma Launch.
Okay, I would like a Vekoma
Do they
Launch.
have
like
a
a
launch?
Firestorm.
I guess they don't have a launch coaster there, do they?
No. I don't know if it's too warm there, though, but does it matter?
I mean,
don't
Magic
know.
Mountain has launch coasters, and they're in the same climate.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a Firestorm being built in Vietnam right now. Like, I think they can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, does Vietnam have a power grid that can support one? Oop.
I guess we're going to find out.
Okay. Yeah, I would say a Vekoma launch coaster.
Yeah.
Because they need something else that has... Well, they have a couple of inversions. I mean, they have a pretty decent lineup.
They have a very
Yeah,
inversion-heavy
but it's been the
lineup.
same since
Opening.
a
Yeah.
long time.
It's kind of funny that Parque Reunidos put so much money into all these parks, but then they have not really put any big new coasters. And I guess they put Bip Bip or whatever that ride
That
is.
park has like Islands of Adventure syndrome. When you build like a really complete gate right out the back, like then you struggle with making returns on your investment and also with feeling like you've got room to
Except for Islands of
offer
Adventure
more.
was pretty stagnant for 10 years. This has been stagnant for like 20 years.
Although
Yeah.
the attendance was really
Although they
going
added the
up
water park
the
and
last
stuff,
few
like,
years.
they've done some stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
they
it's
added the
been
water
good.
park, and attendance was really going up the last
Yeah.
few years. So it was working again, and so they were like, okay, let's do some. I guess they were ready to invest something new, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
Because Portaventura just keeps
I mean,
going.
in fairness,
and-
it took 20 years for Islands of Adventure to bring something new, and Islands of Adventure lost Dueling Dragons. Like so far,
Madrid is a big city. Large
Park Warner
demographic to
hasn't
pull from,
lost
too.
anything that they've added either.
Yeah.
So really, like Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure is the first like major new, like totally new major thing aside from like King Kong. And I feel like Park Warner, yeah, it's time. It's time for them to add something.
I like their water park a lot. I think it's really smart.
It's very
doing
handsome.
Like, doing the DC thing but
Yeah.
over a water park.
Yeah, the superhero slide tower that they have, like that has Superman and Wonder Woman, and like that looks really
Joker
cool.
or whatever.
Yeah,
it looks cool. But yeah, I think overall a Looping Launch Coaster would be a good fit for them.
or maybe something even more airtime centric, like
Well, you can put a lot of airtime in
something like
yeah.
yeah, or even like something with Tauron, but with like one or two inversions, or something like Revenge of Light, where it can be very, because a lot of their coasters are also like kind of like in individual spots, like they don't really go anywhere. It'd be kind of cool if they had a coaster that like went over existing infrastructure and like traveled, you know, along the perimeter of the park or down the middle of it.
It's incredibly ambitious.
I mean, it's not anything. I'm saying like maybe something like Furious Baco, where like this, like the shape of it, where it kind of travels around.
I never
and comes
wanted
back.
this to be a theme of the episode, but I guess Furious Baco. Okay, I can envision what you're saying.
Furious
now.
Taco.
Go out into the field and come back.
Yeah, because I feel like if there's one.
I mean, every ride there goes out into the field and comes back, I guess.
But I just feel like all their coasters are kind of concise and compact in one area, and they don't feel like they go anywhere. And I feel like there was an opportunity for them to
I feel
have
like
a ride
Superman
that
feels
does
like it
that.
goes somewhere. Like, I mean, you really like leave
Superman
the park, and then you
goes
dump yourself into the valley.
into the desert and
Yeah.
back. That's true.
Yeah.
But I would want something more than for their launch coaster to just be like desert race.
But to be fair, though, they're really inversion heavy. Maybe they need like a hyper coaster.
That would be great.
Yeah, like a Sky Rush.
I mean, they would have to do something that really sets themselves apart from like Shambhala
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is why I suggest the Sky Rush.
Yeah.
The Sky Rush is like the exact opposite.
or like DC
intense.
Rivals, like something really obtuse.
Yeah.
So how would Portaventura react?
Portaventura, well, goodness.
They can react by having better operations, please.
Yes.
Let's start
The
with
thing
that.
is, they've been so ambitious with their additions that in my head I'm like, God, when are they going to stop? And
Well, they
like,
need to flesh out the rest of
catch
Ferrari.
up and then going to build some more.
I don't know what they're gonna do to like give Ferrari more.
I think a West Coast Racers kind of coaster for Ferrari will be smart.
A racing coaster for
I
Ferrari
mean,
would be great.
When you have,
It seems only
if you
fair.
have a park themed to like racing cars, yeah, roller
Yeah.
coasters are going to be main focus because that's one of the few
Because
things you
Ferrari
can simulate that
World
with.
has their dueling. That's Premier Rides, right? That did the dueling coaster for them, like the family dueling coaster.
The one in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
No, that's Mauer.
Is that Mauer?
But, yeah.
Oh, that's Mauer. Mauer
Yeah,
did
it's
that.
Mauer.
Oh, well, yeah, something like that. It doesn't. It could be like a looping coaster, or it could be a family coaster. But yeah, something racing, and it doesn't have to be a true dueling coaster like Stampede. It could be like West Coast Racers.
Yeah,
where,
I think West Coast Racers would be
a
good
good
fit.
family coaster would indeed be something for Portaventura, because at the
Yeah.
moment they only have Tami Tami, and then I guess
And the Mine Train.
Stampede and the
Tomahawk.
other wooden one. But and
And the Mine
Trendelamina,
Train.
but it's not a standout family coaster, you know.
They probably. I mean, in any case, they.
Well,
because
I think West Coast Races is like in that middle ground where it's like family friendly, but it's also like an impressive ride.
West Coast racers, but with icebreaker sensibilities.
Icebreaker, it looks like it's gonna kick some ass though.
Yeah, 48-inch height requirement.
Oh, got you.
That's what we need.
Okay. What's that in centimeters?
I don't know what that is in centimeters.
It's okay, me neither. Cool. Next.
A 7-year-old needs to be able to ride it without like having to get their height checked twice in the queue.
We should go to Phantasialand.
Yeah, I guess we're nearing the end, but there's
Right,
2
an hour.
major ones that we still need to do, with the first one being Phantasialand.
Phantasialand.
Okay, so this one,
just
it was easier to cut something here than immediately add something, because obviously we know what the weak links are, because there are so few of them. But what is what they really need? That is a tough question.
Vekoma next gen launch coaster. They can do whatever they want.
I mean, Fly's next gen in a launch.
But like a sit-down looper. They need a sit-down looping coaster, like a straightforward one. That the only gimmick is a launch.
Because I think their whole idea is that they don't have the straightforward stuff anymore. It's all this like unique stuff.
Well, they just need a looping coaster that isn't inverted or a flying coaster, I think.
I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest with you.
You don't think that they would make good use of like a Lech coaster type thing, or like?
No, I think
like
they need to go.
Abyssus?
I think they need to take the idea of something indoor, especially with the proximity to the neighborhood. And I want them to do something special indoor, but I don't know if it needs to be like a heavy launch looper focus. I think something indoor. I don't necessarily think dark ride. I think another major coaster would be a good fit for them, because they used to do such a good job. Like,
I would love for them to get another dark ride to complement Chocolate Mouse, but I don't know what.
I would like a mix of dark ride and roller coaster.
The China area could do with a revamp, and especially then a new
Geister Rickshaw could use like
a major
and then
I'm gonna say this. I think on a park that has that budget and that dedication to quality, I think a trackless dark ride would actually be a good fit.
Like
only
Symbolica.
parks that have money and dedication and really put in the effort make trackless dark rides
the fact
work.
that they could afford Chocolate Mouse and they've outperformed Disney's version pretty handily. Like, I don't know anyone that prefers Toy Story Mania over the Phantasialand ride, and to this day, it's still incredibly unique. Like, they did such a good job that, like, Disney didn't even concern themselves with putting Toy Story Mania in Disneyland Paris, because they already knew that they were outperformed by the park in Germany. So I would just like
Spider-Man
a traditional
is coming
dark ride.
now.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Wouldn't a kind of Mystic Manor ride for the China area would be cool?
But then themed to China, like ancient Chinese culture.
They can use some projections and things, but
That's
like
I mean,
natural.
Mystic Manor kind of is like that final sequence with the Imperial.
Oh, surely,
monkey
but I'm
statue.
talking like know, like the heavy overtone of it.
Yeah. And would that replace
I think it'd be
Geister
nice
Rickshaw, or would they still remodel Geister Rickshaw and keep it?
I mean, either one is fine.
For
I don't
me,
think
it would
Geister Rickshaw
replace
plays
it,
enough of a role anymore there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And last but not least, de Efteling. Een wereld vol wonderen.
Efteling.
That's actually a hard one, because they are really well balanced.
For me, there's 2 choices. Well, or both. That would be
So there's
even
3
better.
choices.
First up is a heavily themed indoor dark ride. Thrill ride.
Okay, indoor.
Like a
So
kind
you're saying
of
Vogelbak 2.0.
Like a flat ride, throw ride, or like a
like
coaster?
a Tower of Terror vibe ride.
Like Mystery Castle.
Interesting.
Yeah, or Mystery
Okay.
Castle, something
Yeah.
like that. Because that they
Mystery
need,
Castle.
They need a
You
thrill
guys are
ride.
going to hate me.
Flat
I disagree.
thrill ride.
Because I feel like one of Efteling's qualities is that everything like blends in with the tree line. And so I kind of like the idea of not having a giant tower there.
Well, it
That's
doesn't have to be
me.
a giant tower. They can still build it below ground.
If it's a flat ride, it
Part
doesn't
of
have to be a
Yeah.
drop tower. That's just like
Mm-hmm.
if they
It
did
doesn't
like
have to be a drop
Yeah.
tower. No.
something like the Via Volta, but like a thrill ride, dark ride, and something that goes upside down. Something like like Tomb Raider at Kings Island back in
Okay,
the
so
day.
I'm going to draw a parallel to The Revenge of the Mummy. I would like something that's half dark ride, half roller coaster for that park.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like they already have done several times, but I think the indoor roller coaster with maybe a little more of an edge to it.
Yeah.
Vogelbak's really great. Obviously, I love that ride, but I think
It's
it
very
doesn't quite have the
straightforward.
edge, and the queue
Yeah.
isn't quite anything. But I think if you build like a Mummy kind of ride where you start off with a dark ride, significant enough portion that you have 2 minutes of dark ride and a finale that's like half roller coaster, I think that's kind of like a great mix for Efteling because they always want to tell a story. They will never build something thrilling that doesn't tell a story anymore. So I think that doing something like The Mummy but with a different theme will be a good fit.
Well, what you're saying now might be just what they would be doing with the circus coaster that was announced.
Yeah,
but
a real launch coaster, would be awesome for them.
But then my second option would be, and Alex will be happy again, a log flume.
Yeah.
Because
I would
they
love
only
that
have
for them
one
to have.
water ride, and I guess Vliegende Hollander is a little bit, but...
Yeah, Fling the Hollander is a water coaster by strict technicality, but it's not a wet ride the way that Piranha is.
Yeah, Piranha
So
is
it's for
is
the
wet,
whole
but-
family, and they can heavily theme
Yeah.
it, so I'm all for
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Given on the year-round operations, a really wet ride, I don't know if they need more than just Piranha.
Yeah. I feel like that's
personally.
exactly why they went with Fling the Hollander, because they're like, oh, it's a water ride, but it can also,
Can also
not
run
be a
in
water
the winter.
ride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
don't
I've done
necessarily go wet
choppers
on
in
it.
winter, so...
Yeah, but
It's
you're
fine.
crazy.
No.
It's okay, so are we. We rode Roaring Rapids in the snow, so...
That's true. But it's not something I'm like, oh, let's do that. It's snowing. Let's get wet.
Let's get wet.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with my idea.
Yeah. I'm just, whatever the...
What was your idea?
I want... my idea is basically for them to do what they're already doing, which is the circus coaster thing. We'll reconvene on my idea after.
So
that's
I heard
over.
that the circus coaster was literally just a rumor made up by fans that it could just be a completely different theme.
I hope it's jokey.
I don't think the circus theme
Jokey World,
has
and then
legs
you
anymore.
like get in line for it, and you ride it, and then suddenly it turns
I'm
really
not a
sinister.
big circus fan, so
Circus
I
are
prefer
outdated.
a different theme, but, well...
Yeah, me too.
It needs to be
Although-
ironically circus themed. It needs to be circus but scary.
It's Efteling.
Yeah, but they won't do that. But I guess it's the kind of circus style, but then the classic, not the bright colors kind of circus, but more the classic and refined circus. That's what I imagine them
sophisticated
building.
circus.
Yeah, sophisticated. That's what I see them
I
building.
guess it
if
gets
they
a
use
weird
the theme.
connotation to circus now.
Yeah.
Or at least in my head.
Europe can do it. America can't. You can't do circus stuff here unless it's like for babies or if it's ironic. Like Universal Studios loves using circus aesthetic as a horror, like a vehicle for horror genre, because it's an amusement park. So like that's kind of the bridge there. All of the Horror Night stuff has like evil clown, like and like Stephen
Yeah,
King's
that's
It
here, too.
also kind of ruined clowns.
I mean, Eddie the
clowns
Clown
are
at
almost
Wallaby Holland.
exclusively
Yeah.
ironic now. Like nobody uses clowns unironically.
Well, they're building
in
that
media.
new Sinbad area, or like really remodeling it to
Yeah.
get rid of Monsieur Cannibal and to kind of lump in Vogelrok with the whole Sinbad thing. I wouldn't mind having something else in that general theme.
Yeah.
But even Sinbad has its dark edges. I mean, it's just hard nowadays to pick a theme that's
Yeah.
based on an ancient tale that isn't somehow
I mean, Fata
offensive.
Morgana is so dark. Like, I think
Yeah, that's a scary ride.
they could do something scary if they really wanted to.
How is
So
it
Morgana
scary?
is terrifying.
But, like-
oh my god.
No, but like I do enjoy like with the Sinbad area that Efteling also isn't afraid anymore to make like these small themed areas because usually they do it like a singular heavily themed ride, but now
Yeah.
they expand like little areas because even with Max and Moritz they're building a little bakery next to it, so it's
I
expanding.
think they're moving with the times.
Yeah.
Because now it's all about world building and not just attraction
Yeah.
building anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly. But,
Cool.
Okay,
All right.
there we go. Thank you, everyone.
Minute 8 here. Yeah.
That was that. We're just over an hour.
Yeah.
Thank you
We're
for
not
tuning
paying
in.
for all your rides, but
You're welcome, all of the theme parks that we just gave amazing ideas to.
Yes, you
Exactly.
can give credit to thecoastkings.com in your next business proposal
Yeah.
for your around the park lap around Warner Brothers movie world.
Fuck you, Theo.
All right, guys, thank you for checking in. Anything else you want to add to this episode? Any like spectacular finale, like fireworks that are back at Magic Kingdom and Epcot, by the way,
Wow.
and
Wow.
Disneyland? Are the fireworks back yet? No, they're not back in Paris because they really don't even have a castle right now. So
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so friends of mine
Yeah,
went to Disneyland
true.
Paris, and I saw the castles, like the little pop-up storybook castle.
oh yeah, Nathan went.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was that for this episode of Cozy Kings Radio. We actually have episodes coming up the next couple of weeks. They're already being recorded. So thank you so
Yeah,
much for tuning
our
in,
next-
and we look forward to having you on the next
Yeah. Our next one will be Six Flags Great America,
one. Or
or
the Lita Coaster couple
Or-
crossover
yeah.
about the
yes.
and in the meantime, you can check it out on our most. Let's do that again. In the meantime,
We're gonna re-record.
you can check out all our social media channels.
Yes.
Instagram.
And of course,
Yeah.
Facebook. TikTok.
all
even.
regional pages. TikTok, yes, we need to be back on that a little bit more. And of course, thecoastalkings.com.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Thank you
right.
for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Goodbye.